Guys, what a day. January 3rd. I don't know why. I am feeling myself. Guess what? Last night I went to bed, forgot to set my alarm, woke up naturally at 4:42. 4:42. My alarm normally goes off at 4:44. I woke up and I was like, did I set my alarm? I roll out of bed to see my phone at 4:42. I check my alarm and I did not set the 4:44 alarm. My body freaking naturally woke me up, because if I had slept in, it would have been a big deal, but that would have been it. I would have slept in, I would have missed this opportunity. So I woke up thinking about, don't ask me why, don't ask me where these things come from, but thinking about the feeling you get when you get an idea. When you get an original idea, something that came from you, I'm curious, what is happening inside the brain? What is happening inside the heart, the mind, the brain, the body, when you all of a sudden have this aha moment? Because I've been getting a lot of them, so I literally dug in, did a little neurosurgery, like what's the name of it? What does it do? What does it make you feel? And it's exactly that. And they actually call it an aha moment is what an insight is. So they call it in neuroscience when you have an insight. So what an insight is it's all of a sudden a realization. So it's not a step-by-step thought, and it's also something that was not like, I'm going to figure this out. Like it's not a problem you're trying to solve. It's like a problem that's being solved accidentally, right? It's connecting the dots backwards. It happens when the brain recognizes existing information in a new pattern. So that's what I mean by connecting the dots backwards, is it's like this aha moment or this insight that you get is simply you have it because of all the other brain connections that you've made in the past, right? Where you all of a sudden think of if you're like inventing a product idea, which I feel like I do all the time, or like I try to inspire my students to do all the time, I'm like, okay, you know how like when your dog's chewing a toy and like it can't get through, or it like tears up the tennis ball. Like what if you could create a tennis ball that like they couldn't chew through, right? Like I'm connecting this less like, wait, what if I could create something that would solve a problem that I'm not in the problem right now, but it's a problem that I thought about last year when I watched my dog tear up a tennis ball, right? Who knows where that comes from? Maybe I'll figure it out. Some key brain facts here are the default mode network, or the DMN, is active right before insight, okay? So this network turns on during daydreaming, walking, showering, or relaxed thinking. The brain is doing unconscious processing during incubation, which is, they say that incubation is right before you have this insight moment. So I guess your brain is in incubation. And I guess then right before insight, this is where it gets crazy. Right before insight, the brain shows a burst. I just thought my kid woke up, so I got so scared. The brain shows a burst of gamma waves. Okay, this reflects rapid neural synchronization. Okay, so right before insight, a burst of gamma waves, and we can talk about gamma waves. Okay, a burst of gamma waves, and I mean, there's alpha waves, there's beta waves, there's gamma waves. I think gamma waves are the ones that just fire for all the like kind of the dopamine, the norepinephrine, those. So let's find out. So why it feels sudden. Oh, that's what I want to know. Like, why does it feel sudden? Like you haven't been having this idea all along. It pops out of nowhere, and most of the work happens outside conscious awareness. When the idea crosses a clarity threshold, it pops into consciousness all at once. That's crazy. So then there's the emotional response. So insight triggers a dopamine release. Okay, dopamine reinforces novelty, meaning, pattern recognition. The idea feels personally important and not random. Okay, and why the insight feels true is insight often draws from emotionally tagged memories. Okay, emotion strengthens neural connections. The brain flags the idea as relevant to identity. That's insane. So I love that. And there was some more, I had it consolidate so I could get it all into a 10-minute podcast. But there was something else it said when I was reading about it that made me feel like it made sense to me. So I want to find it. Sense of agency. So another reason this feels powerful is because you made it. So there's a sense of like identity that you made something. So this activates areas tied to self-efficacy, identity, and purpose. The brain links the idea to who you are, not just what you did. So that's why your own idea feels better than copied ones, and creating feels more fulfilled than consuming. So I really, really like that, because my whole thing is with like ChatGPT nowadays, like nobody's really like thinking for themselves, and like nobody's really using the tool to get them to think more. They're using it to like get things done instead of like actually create meaningful work. And as a high school business teacher, I see it all the time where I have kids who just, they don't care, they don't want to be there, right? So they're able to get it done through ChatGPT, so they don't have to think. But the whole idea of education is to get them to learn to think. So I thought that was huge. That I think this generation is really missing a piece of that creative, dopamine hitting, creativity piece of the brain. Does that make sense? Like, they're never going to activate this insight, aha moments, because the answers are at their fingertips. They're never just sitting there alone creating. And actually, that's what I feel like the whole world is missing out on. No one takes the time to actually sit, think, meditate, walk, like breathe. We're so overstimulated by all the technology all the time. Another thing I was interested in that I want to mention is why an original idea feels more personal, like, and more emotional. And why you feel like, no, I came up with this. Like, you want to defend it, because most people think that ChatGPT probably came up with it. So often ideas come from emotionally tagged memories. So we said this earlier. So emotion plus thought equals stronger neural connections. Let me say that again. Emotion plus thought equals stronger neural connections. Okay. So when an idea reflects your values, solves a problem you care about, matches your lived experience, it lights up the limbic system, which is our emotion center. And that's why some ideas feel exciting, aligned, and almost spiritual. Your brain is saying, this fits you. Okay? So that's what's also crazy. The other thing I wanted to mention is like why you want to act on it immediately. Like, I'm someone who's like, if I have an aha or a moment of insight, I am like, I have to do something with this. Like, you don't want to lose it, right? Because if you ignore it too long, the chemicals fade and then the idea loses its emotional charge, okay? But when you have it, like, I have to do something, it's when dopamine and norepinephrine, okay? That combo together, dopamine and norepinephrine, I have learned increases focus, energy, and urgency. So your brain shifts from just thinking mode to doing mode, which I find to be super interesting, because I feel like I have so many insight moments. Maybe that's another question that I should ask, is like, why do some people get more moments of insight than others? Yeah, and so to put it into a simple sentence here, we'll say an original idea happens when your brain connects old information in a new way, recognizes it as meaningful to you, and rewards you with motivation and emotional energy to act on it. So good. So good. So this is like something I just thought was interesting. And obviously, this was my aha moment today. I was like, I'm going to talk about this because that's what I'm passionate about. And that's the whole point of this podcast. I want it to be things that are genuine to me, things that I researched before on my walk, and then record a podcast, regurgitate whatever is happening in my brain today. Okay. Neuroscience says it's a pattern of brain states plus habits, not intelligence, which I love when that's the answer. It has nothing to do with genetics or intelligence. It's something you can learn. It's something you can become more into. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. I'm probably going to have to do a separate episode because I was connecting this to flow because I love flow state. I'm like, oh, could flow be connected to insight? And guess what? In my research, it can. It is. Usually one or the other. Like, one triggers the other and the other activates the other. So I found that to be interesting. So I'll connect the dots on that in a little bit. So here's why more people have it than other, right? They spend more time in the right brain state. Okay, this requires mental looseness, not constant focus. So there you go. The people who are freer, who are living this, entrepreneurship lifestyle, they're the ones that come up with all the ideas. Those that are in the 9-to-5s don't get to think for themselves, just do. They don't ever have those moments of insight, right? That's crazy, right? Their brains tolerate uncertainty better. So insight happens to the brain when we let go of the obvious answer and when it holds multiple possibilities without forcing closure. I'm not even sure what that means, to be honest. Neuroscience shows high cognitive control equals fewer insights. Oh, I see. So high cognitive control equals fewer insights. Slightly reduced inhibition, more novel connections. Okay, so people who struggle with insight often need certainty, quick, feel anxious not knowing, and over edits before they form. Insight lives after I don't know, before this must be right. Interesting. You're obviously witnessing me observing this question live. Emotional openness matters more than IQ. Emotion is not the enemy of insight, it's fuel. Okay, so people with more frequent insight are more aware of internal states, let emotions inform thinking, reflect on experiences. Okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Emotions tag memories connect faster and deeper. People who suppress emotion have less cross-network integration and access to fewer associative pathways. The brain solves problems better when it's allowed to feel. Okay, I gotta stop. This is already longer than 15 minutes, and I need to edit this because it's got to be shorter than 15 minutes to make the podcast or to make the YouTube. But this, I could go on and on and on. So this is like how my brain works, is like why I'm loving this. And thanks for coming on my walk and talk. Thanks for coming to this 5 a.m. podcast. And I might do a part 2 about flow. Have a great day, everyone.